Krishna. Started. I'll share my screen. We'll get started with Mangalacharan prayers. Please do Mangalacharan very nicely. It's the most important thing for good and successful understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class series. We are starting chapter 12 and my attempt will be to complete chapter 12 today. We'll see. It's the shortest chapter. There's another chapter of the same length, which is chapter 15, which we will cover soon enough. Both are 20 verses each. These are the two shortest chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. So, chapter 12 is called Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. So, this is the crux of the Bhagavad Gita. Of course, Bhakti Yoga has been discussed at various levels. The entire middle section, 7 to 12, chapters 7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga. This is the official Bhakti Yoga chapter, but the contents are slightly different in the sense that there are three main sections in this chapter 12. Okay, so the first section is a very important question by Arjuna. So this chapter begins with a question by Arjuna. And let's see. So I'm not going to, so okay, maybe I should describe just summarize the three sections that are there in this chapter. One is based on Arjuna's question, which is that which is better, the worship of the impersonal Brahman or worship of the personal Bhagwan, which is Bhakti. The worship of impersonal Brahman is that whole spectrum of Jnana and Dhyana Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga has been discussed in detail from chapters 7 to 10.11. That was the crux of Bhakti Yoga. Then Arjuna asked two specific things from Lord Krishna to describe his vibhutis or opulences that formed the rest of 10th chapter. and then to show the universal form and the four-handed Narayan form. But major part is the universal form, the Vishwarupa, and that formed the majority of the 11th chapter, which basically shook Arjuna and took him into a different sort of mood. We discussed that whole thing from the sweet Sakhya or friendly Bhava to very Aishwarya Bhava, where he forgot or he gave up. He, in fact, felt sorry for being friendly to Krishna, and he was completely in awe and reverence of Krishna. That also prompted him to ask to see the Narayan form, which is full of opulence and awe and reverence, or it inspires awe and reverence among the devotees of Lord Narayan. So that is why he asked. But Lord Krishna finally reconfirmed he wanted to see back the Lord Krishna form, and Lord Krishna confirmed that bhakti to Lord Krishna is the paramount. So that is where we were. Now Arjun is asking for our benefit. Basically, he's not confused at all. Lord Krishna confirmed in the end of 11th chapter that bhakti to him is the highest or is the best process to attain him. Arjuna is still asking for our benefit as to which is a better process, the worship of impersonal Brahman or the personal Bhagavan. So Lord Krishna answers this question in the next 4 verses from 2 to 5. Or rather, the next 7 verses or next 6 verses, 2 to 7. Then Lord Krishna feels compelled to mention that this bhakti to him is not something that can be developed overnight. And he gives different stages. He tells what is the topmost bhakti to Krishna. And then says, if you cannot do that, then here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. So all these various stages of bhakti have been described all the way going down, we'll see. So there is like a gradual stage of development for a devotee. So that goes from verse numbers 8 to 12, 5 verses. And then 13 to 20, Lord Krishna goes back to describing the sweetness of his devotee and what makes Lord Krishna to be attracted to a devotee. So I will compare some of this with the characteristics of bhakti that are mentioned in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Primarily 2 characteristics, which are Sudurlabha and Sri Krishna Akarshini. That bhakti is not, or the result of bhakti is not very easily obtained. It is Sudurlabha, quite difficult or very difficult. And Sri Krishna Akarshini. Sri Krishna Akarshini means what makes Krishna attracted to a devotee. What attracts Krishna? What kind of bhakti attracts Krishna? So that is these are the 3 sections. So 13 to 20 is the 3rd section. Okay, so 1 to 7, 8 to 12, and 13 to 20. These are the 3 sections in this chapter. So let's start with the first section. Okay. So I hope all of you have your Bhagavad Gitas with you. Please keep them in front of you. Okay. And we will start. All right. So the first verse. Evam satata yukta ye bhaktas tvam parupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. So tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Vit means yoga vit tamaha. In the performance of yoga, tama. So again, there are three things like the root word, then tara, then tama. So you could be with, yoga with tara, yoga with tama. Tama means the highest. So who is the highest type of yogi? And he gives two options. Evam satata yukta ye, who is always satata yukta ye bhakta, who is always engaged in your bhakti. That is option number one. Okay. Tvam paryupasate, and is always worshipping you in the mood of a bhakta or in bhakti. So that is option number one. And the second is ye chapi, or aksharam avyaktam tesham, who is doing your upasana or is worshipping you as the impersonal. Avyaktam is impersonal or the unmanifest. Avyakta means unmanifest, it is who is not vyakta, which means he is not in front of you. He is the akshara. Akshara means the infallible, one who cannot be, who is eternal, infallible, and invisible, or avyakta. Which of the two is better? Tesham ke yoga. Kaun hai? Ke means who. Yoga vittama. Who is the higher in his performance of yoga? So that is the question that. So these are the two options: a bhakta or a impersonal yogi. So Lord Krishna starts off by, Lord Krishna doesn't mince words. He doesn't beat around the bush. No sugar coating, no anything. He comes directly to the point. So we see Krishna's direct answer. So, and Krishna wants to give direct answers because anything else will lead to more confusion. Already this question is apparently coming from confusion among the two methods of approaching the absolute truth, Bhagavan or Brahman. So Lord Krishna gives a very direct answer. He says, very important verse, Mayaveshya manoye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya paryopetas te me yukta tamamataha. So, May avesh mano ye mam. So, Mai aveshyaman. So, one whose man, whose heart or mind is completely invested in me. See, bhakti is all about the mind. Okay. It's not about the actions. Actions are secondary. Just like who are the topmost devotees? The gopis. When Krishna was with them, they would do everything to please Krishna. But their bhakti didn't reduce even when Krishna left. In their mind, they were completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. So, bhakti is all about the mind. Actions are just manifestations of the bhava in the mind. So, when the mind is completely absorbed in Krishna, actions automatically come out. And we can see that in the material world. When you love somebody very, very much, you're always thinking of them. And when they are with you, you are doing things for their pleasure. When they are not with you, you are either preparing for doing things for their pleasure, or if you know they are not going to come for a long time, you're just, thinking about them. They're always in your thoughts. So that is the meaning of Mai Aveshya Manoye Mam. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Always engaged, Yukta, engaged in worshipping. So this is now talking about some physical actions, Yukta, engagement in action in worshipping them, in worshipping Krishna. So this is for the devotees, for worshipping the deity, for hearing his katha, and so on. And in this way, with Shraddha, who do this, Parya Upetas. So, Paryaya Upetaha, one who is always engaged in this specific way, Lord Krishna says, Te me yukta tamo mataha. Me mata, in my opinion, Krishna's opinion is supreme. Te yukta tama. Again, yukta tama. They are engaged in the best way. So Krishna gives a very direct answer that Krishna Bhakta is best. Okay, so one who fixes his mind on me, worships me, is engaged always in my worship with Shraddha and all that is the best. So this is directly referring to a direct worship of Krishna, and it is um, using a lot of the words evam satata yuktaye bhaktas tvam paryupasate, and very similar words mayi avesh mano yema nitya yukta upasate. So even the words are similar. So Krishna here is referring to the bhakti of Bhagavan, Krishna as Bhagavan. That is the best. Yukta tamo. Now comes the opinion of Krishna on the impersonalist, or the what was known as the aksharam avyaktam, on the impersonal form. So there Krishna says, I will just, maybe I can read the Sanskrit. Yetva aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanniyam ye indriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite ratah. So let's unpack this and see what is being said. So in this verse, what is Krishna saying? That yetva aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate. Same word is being used. Arjuna had asked, ye chapya aksharam avyaktam. That is what Krishna is saying here, that those who do paryupasate, who do upasana or worship of the aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam. The only extra word that is being used here is anirdeshyam, which means infinite or all pervading. And other two words are the same, aksharam and avyaktam. Aksharam means eternal or infallible. Kshara means one that falls. Akshara means who is infallible, which means the absolute truth. Brahman, and avyaktam is unmanifest. So what Krishna is saying, those who do this, and that entity is sarvatra gam, which means is all pervading, achintyam, inconceivable, kutastham. So kutastham is unchanging, and achalam is also unchanging or immovable. Chala means move, achalam, non-moving or unmoving. And dhruvam is also similar. Dhruva also means fixed. So it is referring to the impersonal conception of Bhagavan, which is Brahman. And two more characters. So we'll unpack all this. So let's do that. So first of all, Krishna is here referring to those who are not Mayavadis. They are Brahmavadis. We had discussed Mayavadis and Brahmavadis earlier. Very quickly, Brahmavadis are those who are attracted to the impersonal worship of the absolute truth, who want to attain the absolute truth that is impersonal, that is the energy, which does not have a personal form. The personal form they consider to be, either they don't know about the personal form, or they consider the personal form to be non-attractive, or they want to just focus their mind on the impersonal aspect. The Mayavadis, on the other hand, they are aware of the personal form, but they consider it to be lower than the impersonal, and especially contaminated with material qualities. So they consider that the impersonal form has got converted into this personal form. He has descended on this planet as a person or as a living entity, who is subject to material laws of birth, death, and so many other things. So the personal, when you see Krishna or Rama or so on and so forth, one thinks that, oh, they are just like us. They are tainted with material qualities of suffering. Like Lord Ram suffered, Lord Krishna also suffered the separation from the gopis, or couldn't do certain things. They say, see, he ran away from Jarasandha. So these are various leelas of Bhagwan. They don't understand that, and they consider him to be more or less having human or material qualities. They are the offenders, because Bhagwan, even when he descends on this planet, is not tainted with any material qualities. So this verse here is not talking about those who are disrespectful of Bhagwan. They are simply talking about Brahmavadis who are interested in worshipping the absolute truth as the Brahman. So for that, Krishna says that at the end, he says that te prapnuvanti mam eva. So they also attain me. Te prapnuvanti mam eva. They attain me. So what Krishna is saying, this is a valid process. There is no problem in worshipping the avyakta akshara Brahman. They will attain Brahman. There is no problem in that. We'll see the punch in the next verse, in the 5th verse. But before that, what Krishna is saying is that such people, they focus the mind on the all-pervading, sarvatragam, achintyam, inconceivable, kutastham. What is that? Kutastham, unchanging, achalam, dhruvam, also similar meanings, which is always fixed, dhruvam. And those people need to control their senses very strongly. Sanniyamya indriya gramam. They need to control all their indriyas. And they need to focus their mind. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. Always they need to look at everything equally. So they basically need to be detached from everything material. Only then you can look at everything equally. A piece of stone or gold. Honor and dishonor. So sarvatra samabuddhaya. There's a typo there. Samabuddhaya. Such people also attain me. Te prapnuvanti mameva and sarvabhuta hiterataha. And they also work for the welfare of others. So it's a very nice path. There is no problem in this. And they also attain Krishna. Now, here is a contrast. If you look at this verse 3 and 4, which is describing the Brahmavadis, is he saying anywhere that this is the best process? Yukta tama or anything like that. He's just saying they attain me. But in the previous verse, what is he saying? Yukta tamo mataha. Te yukta tamo mataha. They are the best. So there is a clear distinction between the two. In one, he's saying they are the best. In the other one, he's saying nothing. Okay, then further, in the 5th verse, there is a clear understanding of who is better or what is better. So the 5th verse is very important verse. Klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham devadbhir avapyate. So klesho adhikataras tesham. But, so now this is the continuation of the 3rd and 4th. 3rd and 4th was describing the Brahmavadis. And Krishna said, they attain me. Okay? But he says that there is a problem. Klesha adhikataras tesham. Their path is full of klesha. Adhika. Adhik means too much or more. So this process is full of trouble, or this process is more troublesome, or has a lot of degree of trouble. Klesha adhikataras tesham. avyakta asakta chetasam, those who are asakta, attached to avyakta, those whose minds chetasam is attached to the avyakta form. So very clearly Krishna is saying you cannot read this verse in any other way. And avyakta hi gatir dukkham, those who are on this journey of worshipping the avyakta, the impersonal, gatir dukkham, their journey is very sorrowful or full of misery. Those who are basically the sadhakas, deva abhir avapyate, for those who are in the body and the sadhak body who are trying to attain through this process. Okay, after attaining this, once one has attained liberation, then one is full of bliss. That will be described in 18th chapter, 54th verse. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. So then it is full of this spiritual bliss of the Brahman. There is bliss in Brahman, but that is after liberation. In the process of attaining liberation as a sadhak, it is full of difficulty. Whereas for a bhakta, for a devotee, that process itself is very enjoyable. We have studied that in 9th chapter. Okay. So, susukham kartum avyayam. It is full of sukha. And here it is full of dukha. Exact opposite words have been used in these two cases. So this verse is basically saying how troublesome that process is, and therefore the answer that Krishna is saying, don't follow this process at all. It's useless or it's very problematic to follow this process. So Srila Prabhupada's translation here, for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied, which means for the sadhak. And this is Krishna's very direct opinion. Krishna is not mincing any words. He's not being politically correct or diplomatically correct or any of those things. Yeah, you can do this or that. It's your choice, whichever one you like. He's not saying any of those things. He's being very direct and saying that one of them is clearly better. And where does he say that? I'm repeating myself here so that it's very clear to everybody. Where is he saying it's definitely the best? Second verse. Me yukta tamo mataha. And he's saying that the other one is very problematic. Where is he saying that? Right here in the 5th verse. Klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham. Okay, so very clearly Krishna is saying which process is better and which process is problematic. This was the first section of chapter 12, which answers Arjuna's question. So it's not directly telling how to do bhakti. This chapter is titled Bhakti Yoga. So it's not telling how to do bhakti, that has been covered before. It is telling the characteristics or the superiority of bhakti over the Jnana path, Jnana marg. That Jnana marg is that sort of entire spectrum. Okay, so that is being established. And then he comes back and glorifies bhakti. And these two are very sweet verses in the glorification of bhakti. So somebody may think, okay, Krishna has said adhikataras tesham, that there is adhik or klesha adhikataras tesham. There is adhik klesha. But is there laghu or some klesha in bhakti? Is bhakti yoga not troublesome as well? Maybe less, but if there is a lot of trouble in bhakti, then maybe, I may not choose to do that. So then Lord Krishna tells, no, there is a big difference. So the question is Bhakti Yoga? Yes, Bhakti Yoga may be the best, but is it not troublesome? The answer is no. Krishna says, I help the devotee. I take the trouble out of my devotee's path. So there is Krishna's assistance that is present in the path of bhakti. That is not present in the other path. There it is alone the sadhakas, the practitioners' efforts that have to lead to the ultimate success. Remember that elevator and the staircase example? In the staircase, there is no assistance. You have to put your muscular energy to climb the stairs. But in the elevator, you get the assistance of the electricity or whatever the machinery that will lift you up. Yes, you need to enter the elevator. It's not that easy, but at least, one should not think that it's just, child's play. Bhakti is not child's play. So it is little bit more than just getting into elevator. That's just too much of an extreme example. So one should not take it that far, but at least it's a good contrast. And Srila Prabhupada has given that example in Bhagavad Gita as well, staircase versus elevator. So we use it, but one should not think it's a cakewalk. Okay? We will see that. So Krishna says, I take the trouble out of my devotee's path. And that's the very first line of the verse. We'll unpack these two verses shortly. So Krishna's assistance is available. And he says, I take it upon myself to deliver the devotee. I make it my responsibility. And that too, very quickly. He also mentions the time scale, or mentions the time part. I make it easy. I take the responsibility, but I don't cause a lot of delay. Again, all of this has to be taken in the proper context. Okay, Krishna said very quickly. Now we will see the exact Sanskrit word where Krishna says quickly, na chirat. Chira means long. We say, no? Chira ayu bhava, chiranjiva bhava means may you have a long life. Chira means long. And it's a time. Chira means long. Also, the meaning has the word time in it, long time. Na chirat, not a long time. That's the Sanskrit used for quick. Na chirat means quick. So one should not think, oh, Krishna said very quickly, I have been doing bhakti for 1 week. Nothing has happened. Or 1 month. No, it's relative. We have been in this material world for billions and billions of lifetimes. So very quickly may not mean 1 week. Many people have this misconception. They hear some of these pastimes like Ajamil, one name, or just one, and some verses are there for encouragement that if you do this, take bath in Ganga once, all your sins are washed, and things like that. But one has to take it in the proper context, that bhakti has to be done steadily throughout one's life for a reasonable amount of time, seriously, not namesake, not lip service. We'll talk about some of the deeper aspects, really deep bhakti, sneha samyukta. Sneha yukta or samyukta. Samyukta means very much infused with sneha. Yukta means infused. Samyukta means really infused. Deeply infused with sneha, with affection, with bhav. Bhakti, when one does for a long, at least several years, results are 100% guaranteed. 100%. So that should be taken in the proper context. But Krishna delivers the devotee. So let's see the two verses, 12.6 and 12.7. Tesham. Tesham is referring to who? To devotees, to his devotees. And we'll see Tesham aham samuddhar. Sorry, I started reading the 7th verse. The 6th verse is describing the devotee. Ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparah ananye naiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. So this 6th verse is describing the quality of my devotee. Who is my devotee? He is matparah. Ye tu sarvani karmani. Let's deal with that one. Sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya. All the activities he offers to me, or the results of all activities he offers to me. Everything that is he does is for me. Mayi sanyasya. And matparah, always absorbed in me. Matparah. And then anyena aiva yogena. Anyena means again one-pointed, or rejecting all other paths, worshipping me with one-pointed attention. Ananyena eva yogena upasate. And mam dhyayanta, always meditating on me, or always keeping me in his mind is always, I am the one who is occupying his mind always, his or her mind always. That is my devotee. So these are the 4 characteristics of a pure devotee. So there is the mind and there is action. So mind is always absorbed in Krishna, matparaha and mam dhyayanta. And actions are exclusively for me, nobody else. And all the actions are offerings to me. So mind and action, both are completely towards Sri Krishna. To such a devotee, now comes this, Tesham aham samuddharta. What does Krishna do? Tesham, to such, Tesham means to such person. Aham samuddharta. Samuddharta means deliverer. I become the deliverer. From where? From the mrityu samsara sagara. I deliver him from this material world of death. And what is the timeline? Bhavami na chirat partha. My dear Arjuna, not too long. I don't take long in this deliverance. Mai aveshita chetasam. For one who has aveshita. Aveshita means who has invested. Manaha Krishna niveshayet. Avishita and niveshita, same dhatu, same root. Investment. One who is fully invested, chetasam, his cheta, his mind, his heart is mai, is always fully invested. For such a devotee, very quickly I deliver him. Again, very, very direct statement by Sri Krishna about bhakti. So this is what makes bhakti easy or easier. Okay? Much, much, much easier than the other path of jnana. So the translation is, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya, and being devoted to me without deviation, ananyena eva yogena, having fixed their minds on me, mam dhyayanta, O Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer, tesham aham samuddharta, from the ocean of birth and death, mrityu samsara sagarat. Swift deliverer is, swift is na chirat partha. Okay. And again, Mai aveshita chetasam is also covered in having fixed their minds on me, which is the same thing as mam dhyayantu. Okay. So this is the pure devotee, and this is Krishna's reciprocation for a pure devotee. So in this, Krishna is again glorifying the worship of the person Krishna. And aham samudharta, I am the deliverer. Brahman cannot be the aham samudharta. It doesn't fit grammatically, or it doesn't make semantic sense for Krishna to say as Brahman to be the aham samudharta. It doesn't fit. So Krishna is saying, I deliver. And this is for a bhakta of Bhagavan. So all this is in one straight line. Everything, all the points are aligned. Now Krishna gives the gradation of bhakti. So before that, I was mentioning one should not take bhakti cheaply. Bhakti is the easiest path, but it is not a cakewalk. It's not easy. Okay, one should not take it in a very cheap sense. Okay, 1 week, lottery ticket. Yes, some people got lottery ticket, or it appears they got lottery ticket. Ajamil maybe, Valmiki, Mrigari, and so other examples are there, but that is why they are advertised in Bhagavatam and all these Puranas and scriptures. Okay? And the other aspect is, even if we see, we don't know their previous lives. They might have appeared to get a lot of quote unquote causeless mercy. For no reason, they became delivered very quickly. Rupa Maharaj, for example, yes, he did very intense tapasya, but only 6 months. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam, 6 months. Seems like a short period. So there may be examples like that, but we don't know their past lives. How much in today's world, if you see some devotee, and he's a great devotee, and very young, maybe there are some very young devotees, very hardly in their 30s, Hari Parshad Prabhu and so on. So, hey, how are they such, how can they accomplish so much in such young age? You don't know, we don't know what the past life they have done. We don't know. There are some children also I have seen. There are some children here in this call. There are other children I have seen. Small, small children. They are so wonderful. Definitely it is past life. So we cannot compare ourselves. If we don't complete it in this year, next life we can maybe be like them, where we will pick up very fast from where we left off. So the point is, one should not take bhakti very cheaply, that everything should happen in 1 year. It may take some time. So one should not get discouraged. So should not be the reason to abandon or discard bhakti. And Krishna gives, okay, if you see, first of all, don't compare yourself to others. What you should compare, if you seriously are doing bhakti, you should compare yourself to your past. And that is why I repeatedly tell it is very important and very nice to keep a journal of your own progress. Keep a log what you were doing, and in some way try to put, I was doing, like doctor asks, what is your pain from 1 to 10? I feel it's a pretty abstract question. Like, I mean, there's no standard scale. They always ask from 1 to 10, what is the pain? Somebody who may be more tolerant may say very high level of pain, he may rate it as 5. And somebody who is very, intolerant may rate very little pain as 8. It's very abstract, and, but still, the doctor doesn't compare one patient's number 3 pain to another patient's number 3. He will say, okay, today you are saying your pain is 5. Then he will give some medication. After 1 week, he will call you and ask you, what is your pain? You will tell, oh, now it is 3. You said it was 5. I gave some medication and you said it is 3. That means the medication is working. So you are comparing to yourself based on your own past. You're not comparing to somebody else. Or if you say, my pain has increased, then he will say, okay, maybe the diagnosis was wrong. The medicine he will then change. So in the same way, in bhakti, you must compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to others, but compare yourself to yourself and keep track. I was there. I am here. I am here. You will see progress. And try to write down a little bit this kind of a pain rating. Try to write down your bhava rating. How much you are really feeling. Are you doing mechanically or are you doing with some sneha? Put a sneha rating. Okay. I'm inventing these new things, new words, but put a sneha rating in your own diary. Somehow, I know some devotees do that and they say it has been useful. So, again, you can use some material um, tools even for bhakti. And you will see that, yes, I have been making progress. Now, you may say it is slow, it is fast, but you will see it is progress and that will keep you encouraged. Sometimes you may feel, oh, it is too slow, bhakti is not working. Krishna said, na chirat, should be fast. For that devotee is very fast. All that is discouraging. So this is the way to keep yourself motivated. And then Krishna says there are these various levels. Now, the highest level may be something else. But even if you're at a lower level, that's fine. You will get to the highest level by staying on the path. Okay. So it is to encourage us to take up this path of bhakti. So let us see each of these verses. So, okay, so there are there's a typo, it should be 12. So these are the levels that are given. So 8th verse is the highest, where one is performing bhakti out of complete attachment to Krishna, and the mind is always attached to Krishna. Then, if you cannot do that, then follow the rules and regulations and do the practice of following. Practice means there will be faults. Okay, if you are doing practice, it means you're not a professional, right? Practice means apprentice, right? So first you do apprenticeship, then you become professional. That's the sort of even we realize that as the path. So you do the practice of bhakti. So that is Vaidhi Bhakti, by following the rules and regulations. If you cannot do that, do Krishna's work. That is known as Karma Mishra Bhakti. If you cannot do Krishna's work, then do whatever you want and offer the results to Krishna or to some superior authority. Don't be attached. Basically, it is saying be detached from the results. Karmanyavadhikaraste. Okay, that verse applies here in this case, Karma Yoga. And lastly, Krishna says if you cannot do that and if you are attached to the Gyan Marg, or please do Gyan Marg, then the verse which applies is 7.19. Bahunam janmanamante jnanvan mam prapadyate. In some future life, you will come to the higher levels which have been given here. At least you will not be a materialist, engrossed in sense gratification. So these are the levels. So this is the essence of the second section, the middle section, 12.8 to 12.12. Okay. So let us see 12.8. So this is what I have called Rag Bhakti, or Bhakti from the heart. So this is the 8th verse, which says, Mayyeva manadhastva Mayi buddhim niveshaya. See, same word, similar words. Nivasishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So this is the investment of the mind and the intelligence, mana and buddhi, in Mai eva, in me alone, only in me. And this is the stage of, the highest stage of, one is completely, when one is absorbed in his mind and his heart and his intelligence is completely absorbed in Krishna. It's the stage of pure love of Krishna or prema bhakti. So again, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, these are terms, but this is referring to that highest stage of Bhava and Prema. I'm also calling it Raga Bhakti because naturally it's very easy to come to the stage of Bhava and Prema through this path of Raga Bhakti, little less through the Vaidhi path, but we will talk about it. And more we'll talk about it in Bhakti Samrita Sindhu. So, in this case, one fixes the mind and intelligence on Krishna, always keeps thinking, even in the sadhan phase, one is not reached the stage of bhava and prema, but one is attached to Krishna, one is increasing his attachment to Krishna. One keeps thinking how to come closer and closer and closer to Krishna, what will make him happier, and trying to do those things. And the rules and regulations become little less important. Just like, a mother does not follow any rules to love her child. There are no, she just knows what is, and she may try out things. This, and sometimes she may make mistakes. And then, thinks I will not do this again. Sometimes I, as a father, also make mistakes with my children. And I remember, okay, that didn't go too well. So, I shouldn't do those kind of things. That doesn't increase my or love for their child, for my child, and so on. So one may make mistakes, but one keeps the motivation is just simply always the strong absorption in loving Krishna. Then Krishna says in the next verse, and you will see this sequence that Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram, that if one cannot chitta, his mind, samadhatum, to fix, na shaknoshi mai sthiram, that if you are not able to sthiram, completely fix your mind on me, then what you should do? Abhyasa yogena tato. Then you should do abhyasa yoga, mamichhaptum dhananjaya, to desire, mamichhaptum, to desire to attain me. So if you are not able to fully absorb your mind in me, have the desire to absorb your mind in me. That's what is being said. And alongside, do abhyasa yoga. So how to get to that stage of absorption? Is my audio clear? Is it interrupting?
No, Prabhuji, it's all clear.
It's clear, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Thanks. Because when I'm seeing my own hands or something, it's kind of little, the video is little choppy, but as long as the audio is fine, I'm happy. So it requires abhyasa yoga. It requires practice of bhakti. And I have tried to describe this practice. This practice is about the triple S that I talked about: seriousness, sincerity, and steadiness. Seriousness about the intention, about the goal. That is exactly what Krishna says, Mam ichhaptum. Have that strong ichha, the desire or the intention. At least one should have a strong intention. I'm not there yet. And this is I can tell you from my personal experience that, of course, I don't have any uh, in attraction or absorption in Krishna, but I many times feel that, why don't I have it? When will I have it? The desire. So having that strong desire is very nice. It helps a lot. So that desire should be there. That why don't I have it? What am I not doing? How can I fill the gap? When will it happen? So always being very serious, and being serious means not lip service. If some thought comes, maybe I should do this or that, or if somebody provides guidance, if it makes sense, then to take steps to adopt it. All that is seriousness. Then sincerity in practice. This is about intense practice, practicing it with sincerity, not half-baked. Trying it very sincerely, following the advice, following the guidance. That is the abhyas part. When you are practicing, try to practice properly how the coach or the guide is telling. Otherwise, you're not a good practitioner. What is a practitioner? One who follows the advice properly, really sincerely tries to follow it to the letter. Isn't it? That's how, you become a good chef, a good doctor, a good surgeon. When you are seeing, you have to cut the right amount. I don't know if there are any doctors on the call. If you cut little more or little less, your surgery will be destroyed. The patient may die. You have to be very precise. You have to learn very intensely. Your life depends on you. So here, your spiritual life depends on your sincerity of executing the bhakti, how you have been told. And steadiness over time, sthiram, that also has been used. Or it has been used in the negative term. If you are not sthira, then try to become sthira. And then another part will come in 12.10, which is the act of sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense of doing things which Krishna likes, not what you like. So doing Krishna's activities, Krishna will directly say that in the next verse. And all this one can do before bhakti to Krishna becomes second nature. Second nature means it becomes natural. Then that bhakti is called as Bhava Bhakti, when it becomes natural. Through this practice, that is why this is called Sadhana Bhakti, leading to Bhava and Prema Bhakti. The previous verse was describing Raga Bhakti, but actually it was describing Bhava and Prema Bhakti. I should actually change the title, because even through Vaidhi and Raga, you can attain Bhava and Prema. But the natural way to attain Bhava and Prema is through Raga Bhakti, which is what I was describing. Okay? If you cannot do that, abhyase apya asamartho asi, asamartha, unable to do even that abhyas, the practice which you have been told, the guidance that you have been given, the practice which you have been asked to do from your guide, from your guru, then what to do? Mat karma paramo bhava. Mad artham api karmani. So do my work. Make doing my work paramo bhava as your topmost priority. And mad artham api karmani. Whatever you are doing, mad artham, do it for my sake. So do my work for my sake. So do some activity for my sake. So if you cannot do that, so this is referring to Karma Mishra Bhakti. Another name that it can be given is aaropa siddha bhakti. That do activities that are not direct limbs of bhakti, but side limbs, but do it for Krishna. So if you're earning money, earn money for Krishna. If you are speaking to somebody you like speaking, talking to people and all, speak Krishna Katha. Do those, or those may be direct acts of bhakti actually. Speaking Krishna Katha is, kirtana. But other things, if you don't, just do Krishna's activities, help in Krishna's projects. So do those kind of things. Srila Prabhupada says, every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is a spiritual activity. That is being mentioned here in this verse. But this is the third level. This is not the top level. So it's very nice to do those things, but one must understand that there is a higher level and the highest level. Okay? One should not stay at this level. Or one should not stay at this level only. Even after becoming a top devotee, if you have the means, obviously you should serve the Lord. Rupa Goswami also, when he got money, he built a huge temple for the Lord. Radha Govindji Mandir in Vrindavan. We see that. Okay? But that was not all he was doing, of course. His mind was always invested in Sri Krishna. Okay? So, sacrifice doing what you like and do it for Krishna. That is the meaning. Do what Krishna wants you to do. Do his work. Mat karma paramo bhava. For his pleasure, for his sake. Madartham. So the least one can do is to change his lifestyle for Krishna. If you cannot follow the rules and regulations, at least change your lifestyle, change your work to be aligned with Krishna. This is Karma Mishra Bhakti. If you cannot do that, 11th verse, so I'll just read the English in interest of time. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to just give him all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Just give up all the results, be detached. Okay, don't give it to me, just be detached. This is Karma Yoga. So no need to change the lifestyle. One should just become detached. You do what you are doing. And finally, in 12.12, Lord Krishna is summarizing that give up this mentality of I did it. Basically, Krishna is saying, if you cannot take to this practice, then just engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. So just elevate yourself. Basically, that's what he's saying. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So Krishna is saying, don't stay at this level. Try to progress to the next level, which was what was given earlier. That try to give up the attachment to the fruits of action. So don't stay at a material level. That I did it. In Jnana Yoga, in Jnana Marg, there is this aspect of I did it. You're doing it with your own effort. There is no Krishna's assistance, as we just discussed. So those who are very attached to, or very, I want to do it. I am the doer. They have that ego. They can follow the Jnana Marg, at least, but one should not stay there. Best is to change the motivation to Krishna. Okay. So this is the end of the almost the Bhakti Yoga section. But Krishna is now providing a bridge from the first section, which was chapters 1 to 6, technically 2 to 6, because 1 was just Arjuna's lamentation. But Krishna is going to provide a bridge from the first 6 or first 5 chapters, 2 to 6, to Bhakti. What is the use of, or what is the connection of everything that we learned in those chapters? What were the things we learned? Detachment from fruits and results, being good to everyone, tolerance, being equipoised, being content, free from duality of so many things at a physical level and at a mental level. Heat, cold, gold, and stone are at the physical level, and at the mental level, win, lose, honor, dishonor. What is the connection of that to bhakti? That is the third section of 12th chapter. Very sweet section. Very, very sweet section. Please follow along. So what Krishna is going to say here, I want to just summarize in next 2 slides, and then we will go through the individual verses. So love for Krishna is the highest thing. That is bhakti, isn't it? Love for Krishna is the essence of bhakti. That is Krishna bhakti or prema bhakti is the highest. It's love for Sri Krishna. But this section is going to talk about being a good person. So what has being a good person got to do with bhakti? Isn't that supposed to be the job of a jnana yogi, dhyana yogi? Why does a bhakta need to be good to others? Because that is going to be a main focus of this section. Because the answer is because Krishna likes such a devotee. So one is not being friendly to others because being friendly is a good thing or is in the mode of goodness, but because Krishna likes it. If Krishna liked you being inimical to others, one would be inimical to others. One, bhakti means doing whatever Krishna wants. And here Krishna is going to say, I like these things. I like all these qualities in my devotee. So for that reason, the bhakta does that. So bhakta's behavior is supreme. It's impeccable. The qualities of a bhakta are higher than the qualities of all other yogis. Not for his own name, fame, or taking pride in his own ability of being compassionate, kind, tolerant, or anything, but only because doing so will please Krishna. The motivation is, my Krishna will be pleased if I am like that. Even mother says, no, when mother says, beta khalo, 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 please eat to the child. Child says, no, no, you will become healthy. It's very sweet. He still says, no, no, no. Finally, mother says, I really want you to eat, otherwise I will become sad. If you don't want me to be sad, then you should eat. Then child says, okay, fine. Sometimes, that motivation works. So that is the motivation here. Krishna is saying, I like those devotees who are very nice to others. And the devotee says, okay, even if this other guy is such a jerk, I will be friendly with him. Why? Because otherwise Krishna will not like it. So to make Krishna happy, I'll be friendly with everyone. I'll be a nice person. So that is the motivation. The motivation changes from that I am a good person to Krishna will like it if I am like this. So to please Krishna, because he loves Krishna so much, he is willing to give up all his raga, dvesha, all his prejudices and everything for Krishna's sake. Because a devotee can never let Krishna down. A devotee always wants to glorify Krishna by his actions, by his words and actions. Otherwise, people will say, Arey, this person claims to be a devotee of Krishna and he's such a jerk. So a devotee will never want such a blemish on Krishna. He wants to uphold Krishna's glory. He is representing Krishna. So if one is representing Krishna, one has to put the best, behavior forward. And for that reason, so the motivation is completely different. The motivation is that love for Krishna is paramount, and that is the reason why one becomes a good, well-behaved, very nice person. So you will see in all these verses, Krishna says, one who does this is very dear to me. One who does this is very dear to me. So if you're really, this is the Sri Krishna akarshini part. To attract Krishna, you need to develop these qualities. Then Krishna will say, such a nice, he's doing it. And in the mind, the consciousness should be, I am doing it to attract Krishna's attention. That should be the consciousness. Krishna likes these things. I am doing it. Krishna will get attracted. He will pay attention to my actions. With that attention or with that motivation, one does these or exhibits these behaviors. Then comes 13th chapter. Okay, so let's go through the behaviors now. Okay, so please take out your books, or you should already have your books in front of you. I don't have any more slides on this. Maybe next time I can prepare some slides, but we will simply go through the various behaviors. Okay. So verse by verse, we will go from 13 onwards. So we covered up to 12. 13 to 20 is 8 verses. So developing good qualities is the goal here, or is the main focus. So let us go through these verses. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. So 2 verses are together, 13 and 14. Okay, so let's read them. Maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha sama dukkha sukha kshami santushtah satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchayaha mayi arpita manobuddhir yo mad bhakta same priyaha. Yo mad bhakta same priyaha. Such a bhakta is dear to me, me priyaha. That is the last line. So the first, so 8 lines are there because each verse has 4 lines. So 8 lines in 2 verses. First 7 lines are giving the qualities. One who has such qualities, such a devotee is dear to me. That's the last line. Please note that last line. So what are the qualities in the first 7 verses? First 7 lines. Adveshta sarva bhutana. Adveshta. Dvesha means hatred or envy. Adveshta. No hatred or no enviousness. To whom? To your own family members only? No. Sarva bhutana. To all living entities. All living entities. Even to those who attack you. No dvesha, even to those who attack. Anybody can give example of a devotee like that? No dvesh for those even who attack you. Come on.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Very nice. Prahlad Maharaj, Jal Bharat, somebody said. More. Come on. Amrish Maharaj. Very nice. Haridas Thakur, beaten so many times, 22 markets. No dvesh. He said no. Forgive.
Prabhuji,
Okay, very nice.
Nityanand Prabhu for Jagai and Madhai.
Jagai and Madhai, very nice, very nice. Lord Chaitanya was ready to cut off their head, but Nityanand Prabhu said, no, 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 no. Adveshta sarvabhutanam. Even to those who attack, definitely all others. Maitraha karuna evacha. Maitra, friendly, karuna, kind or compassionate. Okay. Nirmama. Nirmam doesn't mean nirmam means another meaning of nirmam is cruel. No, no, not that nirmam. Nirmama. No mama means not having any propensity of aham, mam, means I and mine. So nirmama means no propensity for I and mine. Nirmama, mama, with no mama, no feeling of mama. Nirmama. Nirahankara, that is no ego, false ego. Sama, dukkha, sukha, being equipoised in dukkha and sukha. Sama means equal. So equally poised in dukkha and sukha. Shami means one who is giving kshama, one who gives kshama. So always very forgiving. See, all these are very nice qualities to cultivate. You should see which qualities, all qualities should inspire you, but you should see where one is lacking, which area. And in that area, you can pick up and work on it. Why? Why should you work on that area? Because it will make you a good person.
No, Krishna likes those qualities.
Krishna likes those qualities. Yes, that should be the motivation. Because Krishna likes it, therefore I should do. नहीं तो भगवान क्या बोलेंगे? Every day we go to temple, we go to our deities. How should we face our deities? Now we have read 12th chapter. Krishna will say, now you have read 12th chapter. Now you know what I like. Still you are doing. Huh? What's going on? How will you face Krishna next time? So with that mood, try to give up the bad quality or the opposite ones and try to develop these ones. Okay, so that should be our motivation. So take few qualities from here. The whole list may be too long or too much for our little brains. But take 1, 2, 3 of them, try to work on them for a few months, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Then take another set. Okay? So that can be the practice. Santushtaha, being satisfied with whatever is there, that will come also there, that whatever comes, being satisfied with that, not worrying about more and more and more, being satisfied with little. It will come later. Satatam yogi, always engaged in Bhagwan, in Bhakti Yoga. Yatatma dridha nishchayaha. Yatatma means self-controlled, with determination, dridha nishchayaha. And very nice qualities. Which one? Next one. Mai arpita mano buddhir. That is bhakta. So this is direct bhakti. Mai arpita mano buddhir. Completely surrendering one's mind and buddhi, intelligence in me. That is the core definition of bhakti. Yo mad bhakta same priyaha. Such a bhakta is very, very dear to me. Okay? So very, very nice and inspiring list of qualities. Okay? Next, 15th verse. Everybody is following in the book? All right. Yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chayaha, arsha amarsha bhayo dvegair, mukto yah sacha me priyaha. So, me sacha me priyaha. Such a person is very dear to me. So what kind of person? Some more qualities. Yasmat no dvijate loko. Udvija means putting into difficulty or putting into trouble. So yasmat, by whom na dvijate loko. by whom nobody is put into any trouble, which means one who does not put other people into any trouble. Lokan no dvijate chayah, and one who does not get into trouble or become anxious basically by other people's actions, who does not get affected by other people's actions. Harsha amarsha bhayo dvegair. Harsha amarsha, and who is, it will say mukto, free from, in the next line, one who is free from these things, four things. Harsha, too much happiness. Amarsha, distress, which means equipoised, okay, not getting too happy, not getting too sad. Bhaya and udvega, not getting afraid or with life situations, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. Udvega, again, trouble or anxiety. My company has announced layoffs. Now, till they tell you whether you are laid off or you are not, mind is now going on, going on, going on. Too much anxiety. And then it affects your japa, it affects your reading Bhagavatam, it affects your daily bhakti activities. It's okay. Whatever Bhagwan will do is fine. Alabdheva vinashteva bhakshat chadana sadhane. No problem. Mukta, one who is mukta, free from all these things. Ya sa cha me priyaha. Such a person is very, or such a devotee is very dear to me. Okay. 16th verse. Anapekshah shuchirdaksha udasino gatavyatha sarvarambha parityagi yo mad bhakta same priyaha. Again, last line is yo mad bhakta same priyaha. Such a person is very dear to me. Let us see more things what Krishna likes. Anapeksha. Apeksha means expectations from others, right? Or from situations. Anapeksha, who doesn't have expectations from others? I did this, now I expect this from him. No, 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 no. It's okay if they do their duty or they don't do their duty. You don't expect. Suchi means purity, internal and external. Daksha means being expert in bhakti. Udasina. Udasin means detached from material situations. Gata vyathaha, and free from vyatha, free from all types of suffering. Pain may be there, but it shouldn't lead to suffering. Suffering means suffering like, why me? Why it happened to me? The best way to deal with suffering is what?
Tattenukampa.
Tattenukampam susamikshimanu. Very nice. Best verse to deal with suffering. That I must have done something. It's okay. Bhagwan is giving little bit, token punishment. Let me tolerate. Let me analyze what I might have done wrong. Let me do better. And Siddvag Vapurbhir Vidadham Namaste. While doing all this, completely surrendering to Bhagavan. That is a Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhag. Yo Jivetasa Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhag. One who lives like this, topmost devotee. Okay? Sarvarambha Parityagi. Sarva Arambha Parityagi. All these excessive endeavors. Sarva Arambha means all these excess activities which are not aligned to bhakti. Parityagi, he gives up. Same as Atyaharaha Prayashascha in the second verse of Upadeshamrit. Ajalpo Niyamagraha Janasanghascha Laulyamcha Shadbhir Bhaktir Vinashyati. So these things destroy bhakti. What destroy? Atyahar Prayasa, excessive accumulation, or prayas, endeavor to accumulate, is destructive for bhakti. Same thing is here also. Sarvarambha Parityagi. Yo mad bhakta same priyaha. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Now 17th verse. Yo na hirshyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktiman yah same priyaha. So such a bhaktiman, such a devotee who has bhakti, bhaktiman means possessor of bhakti. Like we say dhanwan. Dhanwan is who? Possessor of wealth. So bhaktiman is possessor of bhakti means bhakta. Sa chame priyaha. That such a devotee is dear to me. So let's see more qualities. Yo na hrishyati na dveshti. So again, some points are repeated. Doesn't rejoice. Hrishyati na dveshti. Nor grieves or gets excessively sad. Na shochati na kankshati. Neither laments on loss of things, nor desires too many things. Kankshati. Shubha ashubha parityagi. He renounces parityagi both Shubha and Ashubha. When nice things happen, he renounces those. He's not too attached. Or when Ashubha things materially, this is both Shubha and Ashubha at a material level, not at a spiritual level. One renounces the material auspicious and inauspicious things. Bhaktiman yasame priyaha. 18 and 19 are together. So let's read 18 and 19. Samah shastrau na mitrecha, shatrau na mitrecha, tatha manapamanayoh, sitoshana sukha dukkheshu, samah sanga vivarjitaha, tulya nindastutir mauni, santushto yena kenachit, aniketah sthitir matir, bhaktiman me priyo naraha. So, that's Bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Again, you will see that. So many times Krishna is saying he's making sure you don't forget the motivation of doing these things is to please Krishna. Samaha, satrao cha mitre cha. Same thing. That one is equal to samaha to shatru and mitra, to enemy and friend. Tatha man apamanayo, also equal in honor and dishonor. Somebody says something bad to you, no need to get worked up. Many people, including myself, get worked up if somebody says. Always remember this verse that, oh, Krishna will not be happy if I get worked up. So don't get worked up. Try to remind, you may falter, but try to remember the verses. That's why these verses are so nice to remember, because then you can remind yourself. Write it down if it's an important part in your book, important part of your, that you want to work on. Write it down in your book. I want to work on these 3 qualities this month. Shitoshana sukha dukkheshu. So, Shita and Ushana. Hot, heat or cold. Shita is cold and Ushana is heat. Sukha dukkha again. Samaha. So Samaha is applying to all these things. Shatru, Mitra, Man, Apaman, Shita, Ushana, Sukha, Dukkha. And again, Samaha Sangha Vivarjitaha. Then one who is equipoised in these things and is free from all bad association. Sangha Vivarjitaha. Again, in that same verse it comes, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasanghascha laulyam. Janasangha. That sangha which is harmful for bhakti, sadbhir bhakti vinashyati, that sangha is vivarjita. One who gives up that bad association should be given up. Tulya ninda stutir mauni. So tulya means again, it's same thing as sama, tulna or tulya. So tulya means to be equal in. Ninda and stuti. Ninda means if somebody, same thing as man and apman. Ninda means verbal abuse, like defamation is written. And stuti means somebody is glorifying you, is doing your stuti. Remain sama or tulya, remain equipoised, and remains silent, mauni, doesn't get too elated or distressed. And Srila Prabhupada writes, mauni also means who speaks Krishna Katha. Only thing he speaks is Krishna Katha or things that are related to Krishna Katha, not any other nonsense. Krishna Katha doesn't just mean Canto 10, okay? It could mean if you are, providing guidance to someone, taking guidance from someone, or you are doing things that are supporting your Krishna consciousness. Santushto yena kenachit. This is what I was referring to earlier. One, whatever happens, yena kenachit, yena kena, whatever, this or that, yena kena, this or that. Santushta, one is satisfied. Whatever happens, one is satisfied. Santushto yena kenachit. Aniketah sthir matir. Aniketa means Niketan. We say Niketan, no? Bal Niketan means the place where children live. That is known as Bal Niketan. Niketan means place of residence. Aniketah means one who has no residence. So whether you have no residence, sthir matir, or no fixed residence, or a particular, no, everybody has residence, but some people may think, oh, I want bigger house, I want this house, I want this, that. Whatever you have, just be satisfied. That is what was there in the previous line. Santushto yena kenachit. Aniketah, one who doesn't have a residence or doesn't have a residence of his liking. It's okay. Sthir matir. Remain equipoised in these situations. Bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Such a bhaktiman person, naraha, is me priyo, is very dear to me. And if you follow all these things, what does Krishna say? Last line, Bhaktaste ativ me priyaha. He's very, very ativ me priyaha. So let us see. Following all these things, the last line is, if you do all these things, I'm very, very happy. I'm intensely happy. Ativ me priyaha. So last verse, ye tu dharma amritam idam yathoktam paryupasate. Right? As above, yatha uktam dharma, ye tu dharma amritam idam. This nectarian dharma, one who follows yathoktam, as above, isn't it? Whatever I have said above, paryupasate, one who is engaged in this, in all these things above, as above, all of the above, or most of the above, not even all. Shraddha dhana mat parama, with lot of shraddha, with keeping me in his mind, one is following the above. Okay, all of the above, most of the above, even half of the above. Okay, even 25% of the above, whatever meaning you can, as with sincere heart. Bhakta ste ativa me priya. One such a devotee is very, very, very dear to me. Okay, Hari Bol. So that brings us to the end of chapter 12. All right. Any comments, questions? So we are well before time. First time, I think, in our whole series, we are. Any comments, questions, anyone? Yeah, this was little. We didn't have class from 2 weeks, I think, and plus next week also we will not have class. So I thought we'll do a class and complete the 12th chapter. So that's why. Those who are not live today, they can watch the recording and catch up. I'll post the homework for Bhakti Shastri devotees soon. And you can start preparing for test now. Now, module 2 is also done. So test is upcoming. We will set the date, but please start preparing, do the homework, and start preparing for the test. Memorize the verses and all that. Okay. All right, I'll stop talking here and I will see if there are any questions or comments. Okay, no questions, comments, that's fine. You can always ask in the future. And so we can end it sooner here today. We will start 13th chapter after 1 week, like not this weekend, not we'll start next week. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving your time. I'm greatly indebted to you for giving me this chance to read Bhagavad Gita, to speak Bhagavad Gita for my own benefit. I got a chance to refresh chapter 12, such a nice chapter which describes the glory of bhakti, what Krishna really likes, the levels of bhakti, and the superiority of bhakti, especially over the Gyan Marg. So these were the topics covered in 12th chapter. It was my fortune to revisit all these topics. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.